Hemant Shah, fund manager at Seven Islands PMS, is joining us. Hemant, good to have you along with Aditya Agarwala and Nuresh. Gentlemen, all of you, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. Hemant, let's understand from you, how are you guys positioning and approaching investing at Seven Islands PMS? What are your big overweights in the market, in their positions?
Thank you for having me on the show. Yes, so in fact, we are also adjusting with the event passing by, and our portfolio is getting definitely adjusted with the new events and election event getting over and coming back to basics. So what we focus is core investments. It's a multi-cap fund we are running, Seven Island multi-cap fund, and we are having a mix of large cap as well as mid cap companies. Specifically, large cap sectors, we are focused on the telecom space per se, and in the mid caps, we believe in visibility, validation, and valuation. So, where valuation comfort is there, we have invested. Where there is visibility, we have invested. And if you ask me, we have also invested in few PSUs, though the valuations are not at all cheap nowadays, but still we have been holding it since we have entered at a good price and a good time. So the current strategy is to hold on to the investment. I think again, the market is also back to basics, back to normal things, and the new things to look forward is the budget and the 100 days of the new government policy. And just, yeah, we are holding on. We seem to be definitely bullish, still bullish, yes.
Okay, let's bring on board our chartists as well, and I'm going to come across to Nuresh now. Nuresh, hi, afternoon. What is it that you're making of the Nifty levels right now? While banks, of course, on expiry day, the Nifty bank has managed to scale that 50K mark. But what about the Nifty?
So the Nifty, what we are seeing in the last two sessions is the base is shifting a little higher. So 23,200 now becomes a base for the near term. And what is interesting is the fact that we've hit a clear new all-time highs on the mid-cap index, the small-cap index, as well as the Nifty 500. So what we are seeing is momentum is strong across the board. We've not seen a similar uptick happen in some of the heavyweights like a Reliance or an ICICI Bank. If that happens, we go towards that 23,800 mark also on the Nifty. So for now, 23,200 becomes a base for the short term, and 22,200 is the 22,800 is the critical level for the major longer term trend change. So for now, bias is positive. Keep a trailing stop loss and ride on to the move.
The overall texture of the market right now, but just taking stock of what else is happening and what are the big buzzers in the trading session. The last time I remember, Elecon Engineering was firing away quite nicely for itself. Onasa Consumer too was in focus on account of the tie-up that they did with Reliance Retail, plus the fact that HSBC has actually initiated coverage on that counter with a target price which suggests an upside of almost 20-25%, though it's actually moved into the red right now. Separately, Paytm, that one has surged suddenly 8%. What's your view, Hemant, on some of these so-called new age tech companies, the Zomatos, Paytms, Onasa of the world?
Yes, I think Zomato, we have reduced our position. In fact, we have exited the position around a month or 2 months back. And on just basis of the valuation and the competition coming in with the new competitor IPO coming in. But Paytm, we are not frankly tracking it. But what we are tracking is Zaggle. It seems a new age company. I mean, this is the company to look for. I mean, definitely this is a company which can post at least 25 to 30% growth CAGR for the next 2-3 years. So that we are bullish on. Even I think in the last time we met, even I spoke about that last time also. So we are tracking it, and we seem to be very bullish on this Zaggle per se in the new age space.
Yeah. Are there any other such interesting themes that you're working around, and any of the conviction ideas that you may have come across?
Yes, Aisha. Actually, I don't know whether, okay, with a disclaimer, our clients might be holding some stocks.
Absolutely.
So the theme is basically what we are focusing is that select pharma companies which are taking, the Chinese dumping, which are working against the Chinese dumping, making their own presence in the world market. Select pharma companies who has niche in terms of CDMO, or who has some niche products which are not competing with China. and Chinese products and Chinese dumping, and which are exclusive in nature. Say, for example, let me say Blue Jet Healthcare Limited. I think the company just got listed in last November. It's a niche business. I mean, they are one of the fourth player in the world to supply one ingredient to the all the multinational European and American company. This seems a very interesting space to be in for long term. Still, they are working on 2, 3 more new molecules and more products. I think there is a tremendous growth potential for this company, at least for the next 2, 3 years. Yeah.
Just the only caveat is that it's a low volume stock. Just about 14,000 shares have traded on that one. So watch out for that. In the healthcare space, mid cap healthcare or even large cap, anything you like in healthcare, Hemant?
No, healthcare space, basically we are focusing on pharma. I don't track the healthcare space, hospitals, etc.
Right. What about PSUs? Do you have any PSUs in your portfolio?
Yes. So we have been holding PSUs. In fact, we have been holding railway PSUs as well as Musgao Dock. We have been holding in our PMS also. We are holding it on right now. I think the potential is definitely very good, but the valuations also are not at all lucrative now. But it's advisable to hold on to the position rather than recommended to add on.
Aditya, what's the check on a couple of these media names which are buzzing? Sun TV, of course, is reacting to that Axis cap note with the target price being up to around 810 rupees versus 600 rupees. And Dish TV is fairly active, up around 11%. Any recommendation for a trade?
I would like to avoid trading into Dish TV. Sun TV, definitely yes. In fact, yesterday, as a disclosure, we had recommended this stock to our clients. We're still holding on to that. Our target is 850 and then the next target is 900. So somebody if missed out on an opportunity to go long on Sun TV, I think so it's still a good time to add on to the stock in your portfolio. Look for a target of 850, 900 on the upside. More of a positional trade, Anisha. Even if you get a decline tomorrow, maybe a percent or two, you can look to add the stock with a stop loss at 720 on the downside. This looks like a very good trade to take.
We're going to take a very quick break. We'll continue our market discussion on the other side. But Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's office tweeted that the state's economy remains robust due to the government's planned efforts over the past 7 years. It noted that the total GDP of the state has the potential to almost double in 2024 from 3 years ago.
All right, Aditya, I want to do a chart check with you for two PSU stocks which are doing phenomenally well last few days. One is Concor, a lot of development there. In fact, the buzz is, in fact, our colleague from the reporting side did break the news that the government will take up the Concor divestment, which has been pending for so far in the new term. And the other one is Dredging Corp. Out of the overall PSUs, this one has just woken up in the last 2-3 days.
We'll talk of Ajay first, Concor, because that is one stock which has seen very good volume activity. After that fall on 4th of June, stock has bounced back sharply and on good volume. So I think there is still more upside left in the stock. If you're already long in the stock, place a stop loss around 1120 and remain invested in the stock. I'm looking at a target of 1200 on the upside. If you're looking for a fresh entry, I think this is good level to again enter if you missed out on an opportunity. Again, with a stop loss at 1120, 1110 on the downside, one can definitely look at adding fresh position in Concor. As far as Dredging Corp is concerned, I would like to wait out for some time. I think today's move has seen some kind of a profit taking, and then from the lows, we've again seen some kind of buying again. So I would like to wait for a dip, maybe closer to about 1050, 1060 in Dredging Corp to initiate fresh long positions. Though it has broken out from a long consolidation trend line at 910. But after that, stock has run up also significantly. So one cool off, and then maybe it's good to go long for a target of 1300 again.
Other buzzing names, of course, Concor has been holding out very well. Sun TV has been doing well today. HDFC AMC is holding out very smartly, a good 5% gain there. And then LIC Housing Finance as well has been pretty strong. Naresh, anything amongst the HFCs which is looking striking to you?
So LIC Housing is the first one purely for the fact that the stock has broken out and made a very solid recovery. And before the elections on the exit poll day, the stock was very close to a breakout above 680, then saw a crack all the way to 560. And now to make a comeback over 680 and sustain above 700 odd levels, that's a clear indication of a strong relative breakout as well. So that would be a buy at current levels with a view to add on dips to 680, 700. Structurally a major breakout here. Same way, one could look at a PNB Housing Finance, which is also consolidated well enough. The stock was at 900, 950 back in 2021. So once it sustains 900, it's a longer term breakout also, almost a 3-year breakout. So structurally, this also looks interesting. So as a bet, housing finance companies could well be starting off a trend which could be slow and steady over the next many months.
How are you playing the mid-tier financials or lenders, be it from small finance bank or some of the mid-tier NBFCs? Anything you have in your portfolio? Hemant?
Sorry, you're asking me? Sorry.
That's correct.
Okay. So no, we are basically positive on the private sector banks nowadays. So NBFCs, we are not holding much. We're not holding, in fact. But private banks, we are bullish.
Can you share some of the ideas which you have among lenders in your portfolio, among large banks?
Yeah, so I think ICICI Bank is best placed, and even there's nothing to talk about the quality of earnings, size, growth. Everything seems to be aligned with the market growth itself, and they're going to outperform, looks like. And even in the mid caps, private banks have been. I think we can look at the bank called DCB Bank. I mean, the book value is just 162 rupees, available at just 135 or so. And it is available at 0.7, 0.75 times book today. Trailing is almost 0.6, 0.7, 0.65. And then the financial metrics are also very safe. I think it's a very good investment for at least 25 to 35% return over a period of 1 year. So these are the two banks we really like.
So those are some of the top recommendations from the banking space. DCB Bank, an interesting one, and ICICI Bank, of course, which is sort of a consensus buy. Divergent moves today on the real estate pack. You have a Brigade, which is down a solid 4% despite that new launch that they came out with. And on the other hand, Suntec Realty is high by 8.5% right now. Hemant, what's the best way to play the real estate theme, you believe? Because, of course, affordable housing has been picking up. There's a lot of push to that. But a lot of these stocks had run up tremendously. Is there still a safe bet within real estate or other way to play it?
No, Aisha, I would say the risk reward ratio from the investor's perspective is not in our favor in this sector particularly. I mean, all the stocks have run up. Of course, run up with the right reasons, run up with the right directions, run up with the growth, but the valuations are not compelling or not attractive according to me. So frankly, we have avoided this sector as of now. We don't see any, the risk reward is not in our favor. So we are uncomfortable to invest in these companies on behalf of our clients, since the risk reward, which we feel is not in our favor. So though the companies will do well, so I'm sure they'll do well, but we have not invested in the real estate sector.
The chart for Kajaria, after a long time, it appears to be at the upper end of the range. Is it breaking out? Kajaria Ceramics. Pull up the 6-month graph. Nuresh?
Yeah, so Kajaria has been sideways for a long period of time. Now, over the last 4 months itself, the top was around closer to the 1300, 1320 mark. And back in 2021-22 also, it made a top around this 1350, 1400. So if it sustains about 1300, 1320 levels, that would be a short-term breakout and could head up towards 1500. So yes, looks like a short-term breakout here on the stock. And also the fact that it has made multiple bottoms around 1150. So indicates a good base has been done. And very similar charts across the whole ceramic space. Cera is also bottoming out. So this could also be a case of a breakout in the short run.
Names like Krishna Diagnostics are up too. Remember just earlier yesterday, you had Systematics initiating a buy rating on the stock, target price of 841, which is, by the way, implying a good 40% upside from the current market price. Today, of course, the stock has done, quite well, 5% higher on this particular stock as we speak right now. Thermax, on the other hand, Goldman Sachs came out with a note wherein they remain with their sell rating on Thermax, and the target is, at 27.10. They expect power, steel, food and pharma sectors to drive demand, but they're saying that the underlying technology is still in very, very early stages, and the market is willing to look out much further than the next 2 years and give a higher multiple as of now on Thermax. That stock holding up by about almost 1% as we speak right now. Naresh, within the entire cap goods space and the larger universe, would you say that L&T perhaps is the best bet right now?
So in the larger names, L&T, yes, because it's gone through a sideways phase compared to the mad run we've had in the MNC side of it. So the stock was at 3,600 back in January, February of 2024. So the last 4-5 months, the stock has gone nowhere. We saw a sharp crack also post the election results. So out here, that is the top bet, which looks promising. And then there could be names in the small cap, which is where there are ancillaries like TD Power, which is closer to a breakout, and many other names, Usha Martin, etc., which have gone through a consolidation and look promising. Would actually be a good time to shift out of the Siemens and the ABBs to L&T and the smaller names.
Taken. On that note, Hemant, actually we let you go, but in the meantime, I would want to go across to my colleague Snehi, because she's done some analysis as to what the mutual funds bought and sold in the month gone by, and there was very interesting analysis because it seemed like they're still selling out of financials and IT, so it's not that there has been a major shift and they're finding value there. Snehi, tell us which were the other key takeaways and what caught your attention?
Well, yes, so we're back with the mutual funds buying and selling activities for this month, the month of May, that is the month that went by, and mutual funds have deployed 34,700 crore rupees in the Indian market. Now, this is at a multi-month high, very good activity coming in by mutual funds for the month of May, and this is compared to that 18,900 crore that they deployed in the month of April. So, big spike coming in, almost double on that front. Now, on a consensus basis, now this is a report by Phillip Capital, on a consensus basis, mutual funds have added exposure in industrials, auto and auto anchs, metals as well as staples, and the trend we are noticing is that buying is continuing in the entire metals pack. On the flip side, mutual funds have reduced their exposure in the likes of financials, IT, oil and gas, agri and chemicals, and reduction in IT and oil and chemicals is a continued trend that we are spotting over here. When we talk about the cash levels, then cash levels are at 4.3% of the total AUM in May versus 4.2% of the total AUM in April, so not much happening over there, steady levels coming on that front. Let's take a look at some stock specific action then, and first up let me talk about what the buys and sells have been in the entire large cap space. First up from the large cap, the biggest buys have been HDFC Bank, IRFC, HDFC Life, ITC as well as IOCL. On the sell side, however, they have sold significant stake in Canara Bank, PNG, BEL, GAIL as well as Vedanta. So interesting moves coming in, and some trends we are spotting on the large cap front is that BEL continues to be a buy among mutual fund houses for the second straight month. HDFC Bank features on the buy side after quite some time, so it feels like mutual funds have used that dip that we saw during the market correction to buy into HDFC Bank, and ITC, however, has moved to the sell side from the buy, to the buy side from the sell side for the month of May. Shifting focus to mid-cap basket now. Across the mid-cap basket, across mutual fund houses, they've bought stake into Vodafone, Suzlon, SAIL, IDFC First and Apollo Tyres. And on the flip side, they have sold a major stake in NHPC, GMR Airports, Indus Towers, BHEL as well as Indian Hotels. The trends we are spotting here is that Suzlon and SAIL continue to be buys. IDFC First and Vodafone have moved from the buy side from the sell side. So that's another positive coming in. However, NHPC continues to be on the sell side for these mutual funds across the past few months. Lastly, let's also take a look at what they have been doing when it comes to the entire small cap basket of stocks. Consensus buying has been seen across Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, Indiabulls Real Estate, Aptus Value, HFCL as well as CESE. On the flip side, consensus selling has been seen in Hindustan Copper, JNK Bank, TV18 Broadcast, IEX as well as Inox Wind. Interesting to note here, TV18 Broadcast continues to be a sell for the last few months, and IEX this time has moved to the sell side from the buy side when it comes to mutual fund activities. So largely this is what mutual funds have been up to in the month of May.
Okay, Snehi, we'll leave it at that. That's a list of all the buys and sells coming in from mutual funds. But on that note, let's get in some closing trading ideas too. Aditya, what's on your list?
So I've got a couple of buy recommendations, Aisha. The first one is Texmaco Rail. Looks very interesting to me on the chart setup. On the verge of a breakout, can test levels of 235. So for a target of 235, I'll go long on Tex Rail with a stop loss at 195 on the downside. The second is Bajaj Finance. After long consolidation, finally it looks like stock is inching higher. At current levels, I look to go long on the stock for a target of 7,600 on the upside with a stop loss at 7,000 on the downside.
What about your strategies?
So that would be a buy on IEX. The stock has finally broken out above the 170 mark. There has been a long period of consolidation and multiple attempts done. So today, with a strong price volume breakout, looks promising, could be heading towards 180 to 200 in the short term.
Right, okay, we're going to take a break on that note, but some more developments or updates rather on the political front. And N. Chandrababu Naidu took charge as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh for the fourth time today, from being touted as India's CEO, Chief Minister to the Kingmaker in 2024 NDA government formation. Remember, his 50-year-long political career has seen quite a few twists and turns. The swearing-in ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself, Union Home Minister Hemant Shah, JP Nadda and other NDA leaders, as well as Tollywood actors Chiranjeevi as well as Rajinikanth, who were in attendance.
నారా చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు అనే నేను ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా దైవ సాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.